Sydney Kingsford Airport, Addis Information Hotel, time 1518 Zulu, wind 180 at 5, visibility 21, temperature 19, dew point 17, QNH 1018 remarks, no intersection departures, no pattern work, no light aircraft accepted at this time, landing runways 16 left and 16 right, expect ILS approach, departing runways 16 left and 16 right, advise on initial contact, you have Information Hotel. Sydney Kingsford Airport, Addis Information Hotel, time 1518 Zulu, wind 180 at 5, visibility 21, temperature 19, dew point 17, QNH 1018 remarks, no intersection departures, no pattern work, no light aircraft accepted at this time, landing runways 16 left and 16 right, expect ILS approach, departing runways 16 left and 16 right, advise on initial contact, you have Information Hotel. Sydney Kingsford Airport, Addis Information Hotel, time 1518 Zulu, wind 180 at 5, visibility 21, temperature 19, dew point 17, QNH 1018 remarks, no intersection departures, no pattern work, no light aircraft accepted at this time, landing runways 16 left and 16 right, expect ILS approach, departing runways 16 left and 16 right, advise on initial contact, you have Information Hotel.
Land Chile 739 Heavy, taxi to runway 16 right, contact tower when ready. Sydney Kingsford ground, Jetstar 692, ready to taxi to runway 16 right with Information Hotel. United 552, please follow instructions or you will be reported.
Thank you, United 552. United 839 Heavy, request permission to cross runway 16 right. Taxiing to runway 16 right, land Chile 739 Heavy.
United 552, please follow instructions or you will be reported. United 552, hold position.
Thank you, land Chile 739 Heavy. Holding position, United 552.
Ethiopian 538 Heavy, give way to aircraft on your left. Qantas 404, I'm sorry. Jetstar 692, taxi to runway 16 left, contact tower when ready.
Give way to aircraft, Ethiopian 538 Heavy.
United 839 Heavy, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 120.5. Taxiing to runway 16 left, Jetstar 692. Sydney Kingsford ground, Qantas 64 November Juliet Super, ready for pushback with Information Hotel.
Stand by, Jetstar 48 Heavy.
Qantas 380 Heavy, pushback approved, tail to the east.
Sydney Kingsford ground, November 657 Yankee uniform, ready to taxi with Information Hotel. Pushback approved, tail to the east, Qantas 380 Heavy. Sydney Kingsford ground, November 657 Yankee uniform, ready to taxi to runway 16 right with Information Hotel.
Land Chile 739 Heavy, cross runway 25.
Crossing runway 25, land Chile 739 Heavy. Holding position, Singapore 212 Sierra Quebec, Jetstar 48 Heavy, disregard last message. Sydney Kingsford ground, Q-Link 419, ready to taxi with Information Hotel.
Q-Link 419, taxi to runway 16 left, contact tower when ready. Ethiopian 538 Heavy, hold position. Ethiopian 538 Heavy, disregard last message.
Taxiing to runway 16 left, Q-Link 419.
Ethiopian 538 Heavy, please check the user guide from the home screen for help using ATC instructions.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Jetstar 48 Heavy, request taxi to Bay 51 at the International Terminal.
Jetstar 692, request permission to cross runway 25. Qantas 944 Quebec Tango, continue taxi.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Qantas 067, request taxi to Bay 25 at the International Terminal.
Continue taxi, Qantas 944 Quebec Tango. Sydney Kingsford ground, Jetstar 923 Kilo Echo, request taxi to Bay 45 at the Terminal 2.
Jetstar 692, cross runway 25. Q-Link 419, cross runway 25. Crossing runway 25, Jetstar 692. Sydney Kingsford ground. Firefly 994. Firefly 994 Super. Push back approved. Tail to the north.
Continue taxi.
Push back approved. Tail to the north. Firefly 994 Super. Jetstar 923 Kilo Echo. Taxi to Terminal 2 Bay 45.
Taxiing to Terminal 2 Bay 45. Jetstar 923 Kilo Echo.
Qantas 067. Say intentions.
Sydney Kingsford ground. Cathay 157. Request taxi to Bay 51 at the International Terminal. Sydney Kingsford ground. Qantas 380 Heavy. Ready to taxi with Information Hotel.
Stand by, Qantas 067. Sydney Kingsford ground, Qantas 067, request taxi to Bay 25 at the International Terminal.
Qantas 380 Heavy, hold position.
Holding position, Qantas 380 Heavy.
Cathay 157, taxi to International Terminal Bay 51 via Alpha, Hotel.
Taxiing to International Terminal Bay 51 via Alpha, Hotel, Cathay 157.
United 552, continue taxi.
Continue taxi, United 552. Sydney Kingsford ground, Air China 737, ready for pushback with Information Hotel.
Qantas 067, follow aircraft ahead.
Wilco, Qantas 067.
Air China 737, hold position.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Air India 194 India November, request taxi to Bay 36 at the International Terminal. Cathay 157, request permission to cross runway 25.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Safa 2830 Super, ready for pushback with Information Hotel.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Firefly 994 Super, ready for pushback with Information Hotel, requesting runway 16 right. Jetstar 692, request Firefly 994 Super, runway 16 right, taxi via Golf, Alpha, contact tower when ready. Corina 1, taxiing to runway 16 right via Golf, Alpha, Firefly 994 Super. Cathay 157, cross runway 25.
Crossing runway 25, Cathay 157.
Taxiing to International Terminal Bay 36 via Golf, Alpha, Hotel, Corina 15. Air India 194 India November, taxi to International Terminal Bay 36 via Alpha, Hotel.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Dynasty 520 Charlie India Heavy, ready for pushback with Information Hotel. Taxiing to International Terminal Bay 36 via Alpha, Hotel, Air India 194 India November.
Safa 2830 Super, hold position.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Hainan 7172, ready for pushback with Information Hotel. Sydney Kingsford ground, Air China 986 Victor Alpha, ready for pushback with Information Hotel. Sydney Kingsford ground, Qantas 380 Heavy, ready to taxi with Information Hotel. Q-Link 419, request frequency change. Sydney Kingsford ground, Air China 471 Heavy, ready for pushback with Information Hotel.
Holding position, Safa 2830 Super.
Holding position, United 1444 Heavy.
Jetstar 692, request frequency change. Hainan 7172, pushback approved, tail to the north. Air China 986 Victor Alpha, pushback approved, tail to the east. Air China 471 Heavy, pushback approved, tail to the east.
Pushback approved, tail to the east, Air China 986 Victor Alpha.
Jetstar 692, you were already instructed to change frequency.
Pushback approved, tail to the east, Air China 471 Heavy.
Q-Link 419, you were already instructed to change frequency.
Sydney Kingsford ground. Juliet 3 Golf Golf Charlie Heavy. Ready for pushback with information hotel.
Dynasty 520 Charlie India Heavy. Hold position.
Pushback approved. Tail to the north. Pinon 7172. Holding position. Dynasty 520 Charlie India Heavy.
Qantas 380 Heavy. Hold position. Qantas 380 Heavy. Avoid sending duplicate messages.
Holding position. Qantas 380 Heavy. I'm sorry, Qantas 380 Heavy. Sydney Kingsford ground. United 1444 Heavy. Ready for pushback with information hotel. Sydney Kingsford ground. Passage 2830 Super. Ready for pushback with information hotel. Requesting runway 16 right. Sydney Kingsford ground. Qantas 4 Heavy. Request taxi to Bay 32 at the international terminal. Sydney Kingsford ground. Air France 274. Ready to taxi to runway 16 left with information hotel.
SAFA 2830 Super. Hold position. SAFA 2830 Super. Avoid sending duplicate messages. United 1444 Heavy. Hold position. United 1444 Heavy. Avoid sending duplicate messages. Air India 194 India November. Taxi to parking. At your discretion. Air France 274. Taxi to runway 16 right. Contact tower when ready.
Taxi to parking. Air India 194 India November. Taxi into runway 16 right. Air France 274. Sydney Kingsford ground. Pinon 6001 Heavy. Request taxi to Bay 10 at the Terminal 3.
Sydney Kingsford ground. Qantas 64 November Juliet Super. Ready for pushback with information hotel.
Stand by. Qantas 380 Heavy. Sydney Kingsford ground. Juliet 3 Golf Golf Charlie Heavy. Ready for pushback with information hotel.
Dynasty 520 Charlie India Heavy. Pushback approved. Tail to the north.
Pushback approved. Tail to the north. Dynasty 520 Charlie India Heavy. Sydney Kingsford ground. United 839 Heavy. Request taxi to Bay 61 at the international terminal.
Juliet 3 Golf Golf Charlie Heavy. Pushback approved. Tail to the north. Singapore 212 Sierra Quebec. Hold position. Qantas 27 Flight of 8. Hold position.
Pushback approved. Tail to the north. Juliet 3 Golf Golf Charlie Heavy. Holding position. Singapore 212 Sierra Quebec. Holding position. Qantas 27 Flight of 8. Sydney Kingsford ground. SAFA 2830 Super. Ready for pushback with information hotel. Sydney Kingsford ground. Alaska 851 Heavy. Request taxi to Bay 30 at the international terminal.
Sydney Kingsford ground. FedEx 613 Heavy. Request taxi to stand 76 at the international remote. Qantas 64 November Juliet Super. Hold position. Qantas 64 November Juliet Super. Avoid sending duplicate messages.
Sydney Kingsford ground. Pinon 6001 Heavy. Request taxi to Bay 11 at the Terminal 3.
Attention all aircraft. Please stand by. Sydney Kingsford ground. November 2012. Ready for pushback with information hotel. Requesting runway 16 left. November 2012. Pushback approved. Tail to the north. November 2012.
Sydney Kingsford ground. Jet.
Sydney Kingsford ground. Air India 0129 Heavy. Ready for pushback.
Holding short runway 16 right. Emirates 767.
Pinon 6001 Heavy. Request permission to cross runway 7. Sydney Kingsford Tower. Air India 825 India November Heavy. Inbound on the ILS runway 16 left.
Hainan 6001 Heavy. Contact Sydney approach on 135.9er. Hainan 6001 Heavy. Disregard last message. Hainan 6001 Heavy. Contact Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5. Sydney Kingsford Tower. Qantas 631 Kilo Yankee Heavy. Inbound on the ILS runway 16 left with information hotel.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5. Pinon 6001 Heavy.
Swiss 001 Super. When able turn right and contact ground. Please expedite. Traffic on final. Emirates 767. Line up and wait runway 16 right. Line up and wait runway 16 right. Emirates 767. Air India 825 India November Heavy. Wind 230 at 5. Number 2. Runway 16 left. Cleared to land.
Wilco, Swift 001 Super. Number 2, cleared to land, runway 16 left, Air India 825 India November Heavy.
Qantas 631 Kilo Yankee Heavy, wind 230 at 5. Number 3, runway 16 left, cleared to land. Number 3, cleared to land, runway 16 left, Qantas 631 Kilo Yankee Heavy, United 839 Heavy, contact Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5. Alaska 851 Heavy, contact Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5, Alaska 851 Heavy.
Cleared for takeoff. Runway 16 right, Emirates 767. Corina 9970, when able turn right and contact ground. Please expedite. Traffic on final. Jetstar 692, wind 230 at 5, runway 16 left. Cleared for takeoff. Jetstar 692, line up and wait runway 16 right.
Sydney Kingsford Tower. Etihad 663 is 10 nautical miles to the north at 3,000 feet, inbound for landing.
Line up and wait runway 16 right, Jetstar 692. Jetstar 692, wind 230 at 5, runway 16 left, cleared for takeoff. Jetstar 692, please expedite. Corina 9970, request frequency change. Etihad 663, wind 230 at 5, number 3, runway 16 left, cleared to land.
Number 3, cleared to land, runway 16 left, Etihad 663.
FedEx 613 Heavy, request permission to cross runway 16 right. Etihad 210 Lima Echo Super, wind 240 at 5, runway 16 right, cleared for takeoff. Cleared for takeoff, runway 16 right, Etihad 210 Lima Echo Super. FedEx 613 Heavy, stand by. Air India 825 India November Heavy, when able turn right and contact ground. Please expedite, traffic on final.
Wilco, Air India 825 India November Heavy. Sydney Kingsford Tower, Jetstar 2308 is 11 nautical miles to the north of 3,200 feet, inbound for landing with Information Hotel.
Etihad 210 Lima Echo Super, please expedite. Emirates 767, request frequency change.
Sydney Kingsford Tower, velocity 807, inbound on the ILS runway 16 left with Information Hotel.
Emirates 767, frequency change approved, good day. Frequency change approved Emirates 767, good day. Going around, Cathay 111 Heavy. Qantas 631 Kilo Yankee Heavy, when able turn right and contact ground. Please expedite, traffic on final. Sydney Kingsford Tower, Cathay 111 Heavy is 5 nautical miles to the north at 2,500 feet, inbound for landing with Information Hotel. Wilco, Qantas 631 Kilo Yankee Heavy.
Sydney Kingsford Tower, Q-Link 419, ready for departure at runway 16 left, departing north.
Cathay 111 Heavy, wind 260 at 6, number 2, runway 16 left, cleared to land. Jetstar 2308, wind 260 at 6. Number 3, runway 16 left, cleared to land.
Number 3, clear to land, runway 16 left, Jetstar 2308.
Number 2, cleared to land, runway 16 left, Cathay 111 Heavy. Qantas 944 Quebec Tango, wind 260 at 6, runway 16 right, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 16 right, Qantas 944 Quebec Tango.
Etihad 663, when able turn right and contact ground. Please expedite, traffic on final.
Wilco, Etihad 663.
Q-Link 419, frequency is busy, please be patient. Sydney Kingsford Tower, CG 035 Heavy, inbound on the ILS runway 16 left. CG035 heavy, wind 260 at 6. Number 4, runway 16 left, cleared to land. Number 4, cleared to land, runway 16 left, CG035 heavy. Velocity 807, wind 260 at 6. Number 3, runway 16 left, cleared to land.
Number 3, cleared to land, runway 16 left, velocity 807. Velocity 807, requesting change to runway 16 right.
Velocity 807, enter straight in runway 16 right.
Enter straight in runway 16 right, velocity 807. Thank you, velocity 807.
CE Kingsford Tower, Qantas 7, ready for departure at runway 16 right, departing east.
Thank you, CG035 heavy. Jetstar 692, request frequency change. FedEx 613 heavy, cross runway 16 right. United 829 heavy, cross runway 16 right. Crossing runway 16 right, FedEx 613 heavy.
Crossing runway 16 right, United 829 heavy.
Sydney Kingsford Tower, velocity 963 is 12 nautical miles to the north at 3,000 feet, inbound for landing. Oceania 77 heavy, request permission to cross runway 16 right.
Taxiing to runway 16 right via Alpha, FedEx 346 heavy.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Jetstar 692, ready to taxi to runway 16 right with information hotel.
Swift 001 Super, stay on my frequency. Swift 001 Super, hold position.
Sydney Kingsford ground, FedEx 613 heavy, request taxi to stand 76 at the international remote.
Singapore 212 Sierra Quebec, runway 16 right, taxi via Alpha, contact tower when ready. Holding position, Swift 001 Super. Taxiing to runway 16 right via Alpha, Singapore 212 Sierra Quebec. Singapore 212 Sierra Quebec, give way to aircraft on your right.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Cathay 111 heavy, request taxi to the Terminal 1.
Give way to aircraft, Singapore 212 Sierra Quebec. Jetstar 692, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. FedEx 613 heavy, taxi to international remote stand 76 via Alpha, Juliet. Guard 2762, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Air China 471 heavy, cross runway 25. Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, Guard 2762. Swift 001 Super, thank you. Crossing runway 25, Air China 471 heavy. Swift 001 Super, stands by. Cathay 111 heavy, taxi to parking, at your discretion. Dynasty 520 Charlie India heavy, thank you, good day.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Qantas 64 November Juliet Super, ready for pushback with information hotel.
Dynasty 520 Charlie India heavy, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Air China 986 Victor Alpha, thank you, good day. Air China 986 Victor Alpha, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, Air China 986 Victor Alpha. Qantas 64 November Juliet Super, hold position. Philippines 212, give way to aircraft on your left. Cathay 111 heavy, taxi to International Terminal Bay 36, hold short of 16 right 34 left.
Taxiing to International Terminal Bay 36, will hold short of 16 right 34 left, Cathay 111 heavy.
Give way to aircraft, Philippines 212. United 829 heavy, hold short of runway 25. Sydney Kingsford ground, Las Vegas, ready to taxi with information hotel. Hold short of runway 25, United 829 heavy. Guard 2762, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, Guard 2762.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Hawaiian 785, ready for pushback, requesting runway 16 left.
Las Vegas, runway 16 right, taxi via Golf, Alpha, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 16 right via Golf, Alpha, Las Vegas. Hawaiian 785, pushback approved, tail to the north.
Pushback approved, tail to the north, Hawaiian 785.
Velocity 3 Echo Zulu, continue taxi. Velocity 3 Echo Zulu, disregard last message. Velocity 3 Echo Zulu, cross runway 25. Sydney Kingsford ground, Jetstar 2308, request taxi to Bay 45 at the Terminal 2.
Crossing runway 25, velocity 3 Echo Zulu.
United 829 Heavy, request permission to cross runway 25. Jetstar 2308, taxi to Terminal 3 Bay 49, hold short of 725. Taxiing to Terminal 3 Bay 49, will hold short of 725, Jetstar 2308. United 829 Heavy, hold short of runway 25. Las Vegas, give way to aircraft on your right. Hold short of runway 25, United 829 Heavy. Swiss 001 Super, continue taxi. FedEx 346 Heavy, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Give way to aircraft, Las Vegas. Qatari 260 Super, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Air India 0129 Heavy, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, FedEx 346 Heavy.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, Qatari 260 Super.
Continue taxi, Swiss 001 Super. Sydney Kingsford ground, Hainan 7172, ready for pushback with information India.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Fiji 035 Heavy, request taxi to Bay 53 at the International Terminal.
Qantas 64 November Juliet Super, pushback approved, tail to the east.
Sydney Kingsford ground, American 279 Quebec Romeo Heavy, ready for pushback with information India.
Jetstar 2308, taxi to Terminal 2 Bay 42, hold short of 725. Taxiing to Terminal 2 Bay 42, will hold short of 725, Jetstar 2308. American 279 Quebec Romeo Heavy, hold position. Attention all aircraft, airport is busy, expect delays.
Holding position, American 279 Quebec Romeo Heavy.
Fiji 035 Heavy, taxi to International Terminal Bay 53, hold short of 16 right 34 left.
Taxiing to International Terminal Bay 53, will hold short of 16 right 34 left, Fiji 035 Heavy.
United 829 Heavy, stand by. Qantas 27 flight of 8, say intentions.
Sydney Kingsford ground, velocity 963, request taxi to parking. Sydney Kingsford ground, Orion 785, ready for taxi.
Cathay 111 Heavy, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Sydney Kingsford ground, velocity 001 Heavy, ready for pushback with information hotel, requesting runway 16 right. Hawaiian 785, taxi to runway 16 left, hold short of 725.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, Cathay 111 Heavy.
Velocity 963, taxi to parking, at your discretion.
Taxiing to runway 16 left, will hold short of 725, Orion 785.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Sesh 1128 Sierra Charlie Super, ready for pushback with information India.
Taxi to parking, velocity 963.
Velocity 001 Heavy, hold position. Holding position, velocity 001 Heavy. Attention all aircraft, airport is busy, expect delays. Sydney Kingsford ground, Qatari 036 Victor Alpha Super, ready for pushback with information India, requesting runway 16 left. Sesh 1128 Sierra Charlie Super, hold position. Holding position, Sesh 1128 Sierra Charlie Super. Sydney Kingsford ground, Hainan 7172, ready to taxi to runway 16 left with information India. Sydney Kingsford ground, Air Canada 33 Heavy, request taxi to Bay 30 at the International Terminal.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Qantas 244 Super, ready for pushback with information India, requesting runway 16 right.
Hainan 7172, taxi to runway 16 right, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 16 right, Hainan 7172. Qatari 036 Victor Alpha Super, hold position. Sydney Kingsford ground, velocity 680 Heavy, ready for pushback with information India. Holding position, Qatari 036 Victor Alpha Super. Velocity 680 Heavy, hold position. Qantas 244 Super, hold position. Holding position, velocity 680 Heavy. Sydney Kingsford ground, Air Canada 33 Heavy, request taxi to Bay 30 at the International Terminal.
Holding position, Qantas 244 Super.
Fiji 035 Heavy. Contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Fiji 035 Heavy.
Air Canada 33 Heavy. Taxi to International Terminal Bay 30. Hold short of 16 right 34 left. Taxi into International Terminal Bay 30. Will hold short of 16 right 34 left. Air Canada 33 Heavy. Thank you, Air Canada 33 Heavy. United 829 Heavy. Expect progressive taxi instructions. United 829 Heavy. Cross runway 25. Crossing runway 25. United 829 Heavy. United 829 Heavy. Turn left next taxiway. Oceania 77 Heavy. Hold position. Left on the next taxiway. United 829 Heavy. Oceania 77 Heavy. Disregard last message. Oceania 77 Heavy. Hold short of runway 25.
Hold short of runway 25. Oceania 77 Heavy.
Sydney Kingsford Ground. Philippines 211. Request taxi to Bay 50 at the International Terminal. Sydney Kingsford Ground. United 1444 Heavy. Ready to taxi with Information Hotel. Las Vegas. Thank you. Oceania 77 Heavy. Cross runway 25. United 1444 Heavy. Hold position.
Crossing runway 25. Oceania 77 Heavy.
United 829 Heavy. Turn left next taxiway. Singapore 212 Sierra Quebec. Give way to aircraft on your right. Holding position. United 1444 Heavy. Left on the next taxiway. United 829 Heavy. Qantas 27 flight of 8. Stay in tension. Sydney Kingsford Ground. Jetstar 810. Ready for pushback with Information India. Requesting runway 16 right. Sydney Kingsford Ground. Qantas 27 flight of 8. Ready to taxi with Information Hotel. United 829 Heavy. Thank you. United 829 Heavy. Taxi to parking. At your discretion. Sydney Kingsford Ground. Cafe 157. Ready for pushback. Requesting runway 16 right. Taxi to parking. United 829 Heavy. Qantas 27 flight of 8. Runway 16 right. Taxi via Alpha. Contact tower when ready. Taxi into runway 16 right via Alpha. Qantas 27 flight of 8. Hawaiian 785. Cross runway 25. Jetstar 2308. Expect progressive taxi instructions. Crossing runway 25. Jetstar 2308. Sydney Kingsford Ground. Velocity 680 Heavy. Ready for pushback with Information India. Philippines 211. Taxi to International Terminal Bay 50. Hold short of 16 right 34 left. Velocity 680 Heavy. Hold position. Taxi into International Terminal Bay 50. Will hold short of 16 right 34 left. Philippines 211. Qantas 64 November Juliet Super. Runway 16 right. Taxi via Alpha. Contact tower when ready. Air France 274. Stay on my frequency.
Taxi into runway 16 right via Alpha. Qantas 64 November Juliet Super.
Thank you. Good day. Land Chile 739 Heavy. Jetstar 810. Pushback approved. Tail to the south. Give way to aircraft. Singapore 212 Sierra Quebec. Pushback approved. Tail to the south. Jetstar 810. Holding position. Air France 274.
Qantas 631 Kilo Yankee Heavy. Request permission to cross runway 25.
Qantas 631 Kilo Yankee Heavy. Cross runway 25. Sydney Kingsford Ground. FedEx 73. Request taxi to Bay 4 at the International Cargo.
Crossing runway 25. Qantas 631 Kilo Yankee Heavy.
Velocity 963. Contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Thank you. Good day. Jetstar 2308. Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Air Canada 33 Heavy. Thank you. Good day. Air Canada 33 Heavy. Taxi into International Cargo Bay 4. Will hold short of 16 right 34 left. FedEx 73. Air France 274. Thank you.
Sydney Kingsford Ground. Qantas 631 Kilo Yankee Heavy. Request taxi to parking.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, Cathay 606, ready for pushback with Information India, requesting runway 16 right.
Cathay 606. Hold position.
Holding position, Cathay 606.
Taxi to parking. Qantas 631 Kilo Yankee Heavy.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, Air France 274, ready to taxi to runway 16 right with Information Hotel.
Air France 274. Stand by. Hawaiian 785. Thank you. Good day. Hawaiian 785. Contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Hawaiian 785.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, Air France 274, ready to taxi to runway 16 left with information hotel.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, airline 827, ready for pushback with information India, requesting runway 16 left.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, Jetstar 810, ready to taxi to runway 16 right with information India, Air France 274, give way to aircraft on your left. Jetstar 810, taxi to runway 16 right, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 16 right, Jetstar 810. Velocity 161, please check assigned runway. Airline 827, pushback approved, tail to the north.
Pushback approved, tail to the north, airline 827.
Hainan 6001 heavy, request permission to cross runway 16 right.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, Emirates 1784 heavy, ready for pushback with information India, requesting runway 16 right.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, velocity 001 heavy, ready for pushback with information hotel, requesting runway 16 right. Velocity 001 heavy, hold position. Emirates 1784 heavy, hold position. Holding position, velocity 001 heavy. Hainan 6001 heavy, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, Hainan 6001 heavy.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, Victor Tango Juliet Alpha Yankee Super, ready for pushback with information hotel.
Cathay 111 heavy, cross runway 25. Fiji 035 heavy, cross runway 25.
Crossing runway 25, Cathay 111 heavy.
Victor Tango Juliet Alpha Yankee Super, hold position.
Crossing runway 25, Fiji 035 heavy.
Attention all aircraft, airport is busy, expect delay.
Holding position, Victor Tango Juliet Alpha Yankee Super.
United 1444 heavy, hold position. Jetstar 810, thank you, good day.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, Qatari 279 Victor Alpha Heavy, ready for pushback with information India.
Qatari 279 Victor Alpha Heavy, hold position.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, Cathay 606, ready for pushback with information India.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, Qantas 08, request taxi to parking. Cathay 606, hold position. Cathay 606, avoid sending duplicate messages.
Holding position, Cathay 606.
Qantas 08, taxi to parking, at your discretion. Taxi to parking, Qantas 08. Sydney Kingsford Ground, Cathay 138 heavy, ready for pushback with information India. Attention all aircraft, airport is busy, expect delay. Cathay 138 heavy, hold position.
Give way to aircraft, Air France 274.
Holding position, Cathay 138 heavy.
Thank you, Air France 274.
Holding position, United 1444 heavy. Fiji 035 heavy, thank you, good day.
Holding position, Qantas 244 Super.
Hainan 6001 heavy, thank you, good day. Thank you, Hainan 6001 heavy. Sydney Kingsford Ground, Charlie Foxtrot Romeo Alpha Yankee heavy, ready for pushback with information India. Charlie Foxtrot Romeo Alpha Yankee heavy, hold position. Sydney Kingsford Ground, Swiss 89 heavy, ready for pushback with information Foxtrot. Sydney Kingsford Ground, Qantas 08, request taxi to Bay 58 at the International Terminal. Holding position, Charlie Foxtrot Romeo Alpha Yankee heavy. Sydney Kingsford Ground, Jetstar 1225, request taxi to parking.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, airline 827, ready for taxi with information India.
Qantas 08, taxi to International Terminal Bay 58, hold short of 16 right 34 left. Jetstar 1225, taxi to parking, at your discretion. Edival 4808 heavy, taxi to parking, at your discretion. Airline 827, taxi to runway 16 right, contact tower when ready.
Velocity 963, request permission to cross runway 25.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, Seabird 16 Super, ready for pushback with information India. Qatari 260 Super, taxi to International Terminal Bay 24 via Alpha. Cathay 157, hold position. Holding position, Cathay 157. Cathay 157, avoid sending duplicate messages. Velocity 963, cross runway 25.
Crossing runway 25, velocity 963.
Sydney Kingsford Ground, Air Canada 33 Heavy, request taxi to Bay 2 at the International Cargo.
Air Canada 33 Heavy, taxi to International Cargo Bay 2 via Alpha. Alpha, hold short of 725.
Taxiing to international cargo by 2 via Alpha, will hold short of 725, Air Canada 33 Heavy. Air Canada 33 Heavy, expect progressive taxi instructions. Air Canada 33 Heavy, correction, stand by. Air Canada 33 Heavy, cross runway 25. Crossing runway 25, Air Canada 33 Heavy. Sydney Kingsford ground, Swiss 89 Heavy, ready for pushback with information Foxtrot. FedEx 73, hold short of runway 25. Etihad 4808 Heavy, hold short of runway 25. Swiss 89 Heavy, hold position. Hold short of runway 25, Etihad 4808 Heavy. Air France 274, continue taxi. Air France 274, thank you, good day. Air France 274, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Qantas 64 November Juliet Super, thank you, good day.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Qantas 64 November Juliet Super.
Swiss 001 Super, contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Sydney Kingsford ground, Swiss 001 Super, request taxi to the international terminal. Swiss 001 Super, taxi to parking, at your discretion. Swiss 001 Super, please expedite. Taxi to parking, Swiss 001 Super. Etihad 4808 Heavy, request permission to cross runway 25. I'm sorry, Swiss 001 Super. Singapore 212 Sierra Quebec, give way to aircraft on your right. Etihad 4808 Heavy, hold short of runway 25. Give way to aircraft, Singapore 212 Sierra Quebec. Hold short of runway 25, Etihad 4808 Heavy. Velocity 803, taxi to International Terminal Bay 36, hold short of 16 right 34 left. Sydney Kingsford ground, Air Canada 33 Heavy, request taxi to Bay 30 at the International Terminal. Delta 126 Oscar, give way to aircraft exiting runway 16 left. Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, Qantas 08. Delta 126 Oscar, taxi to Kilo Remote Stand 120 via Tango, Lima, Bravo, Bravo 9er.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Qantas 648, request taxi to Bay 10 at the Terminal 3.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Air Canada 33 Heavy, request taxi to parking.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Qantas 244 Super, ready for pushback with information India, requesting runway 16 right.
Give way to aircraft, Juliet 3 Golf Charlie Heavy. Sydney Kingsford ground, China Southern 667 Super, ready for pushback with information India.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Emirates 1784 Heavy, ready for pushback with information India, requesting runway 16 right.
Qantas 648, taxi to Terminal 3 Bay 10, hold short of 725.
Taxiing to Terminal 3 Bay 10, will hold short of 725, Qantas 648.
China Southern 667 Super, hold position. Emirates 1784 Heavy, hold position. Holding position, China Southern 667 Super.
Holding position, Emirates 1784 Heavy.
Delta Bravo Echo Romeo, no light aircraft accepted at this time. Please start at a more appropriate airport. Sydney Kingsford ground, Hainan 6001 Heavy, ready for pushback. Hainan 6001 Heavy, pushback approved, tail to the south. Sydney Kingsford ground, United 1444 Heavy, ready to taxi with information India. United 1444 Heavy, hold position. Sydney Kingsford ground, Hainan 6001 Heavy, ready for pushback, requesting runway 16 left. Sydney Kingsford ground, United 343 Super, ready for pushback with information India. Hainan 6001 Heavy, pushback approved, tail to the south, expect runway 16 right. Sydney Kingsford ground, velocity 803, request taxi to Hangar 8 at the Regional Express. Pushback approved, tail to the south, runway 16 right, Hainan 6001 Heavy. Velocity 803, taxi to Regional Express Hangar 8, hold short of 725. Holding position, United 1444 Heavy. United 343 Super, hold position. Holding position, United 343 Super. FedEx 73, hold short of runway 25. Hold short of runway 25, FedEx 73. Juliet 3 Golf Charlie Heavy, thank you. FedEx 73, stand by. Sydney Kingsford ground, Turkish 81 Echo Heavy, request taxi to Bay 58 at the International Terminal.
Sydney Kingsford ground, Lufthansa 93 Heavy, request taxi to Bay 6 at the International Cargo. Sydney Kingsford ground, Lufthansa 93 Heavy, request taxi to Remote Stand 72 at the International Remote.
Qantas 2308, pushback approved, tail to the north. Sydney Kingsford ground, Qantas 85, ready for pushback with information India.
Pushback approved. Tail to the north. Qantas 2308. Velocity 803. Taxi to Terminal 2 Gate 38. Hold short of 725.
Taxiing to International remote stand 72 via Lufthansa 93 Heavy.
Taxiing to Terminal 2. Firefly 994 Super. Contact Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Sydney Kingsford Ground. Jetstar.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7. Firefly 994 Super.
Sydney Kingsford Ground. Delta 126 Oscar Oscar. Ready for pushback with information India.
Sydney Kingsford Tower. Firefly 994 Super. Ready for departure in sequence at runway 16 right. Departing straight out. Hawaiian 785, please expedite. Sydney Kingsford Tower, Sydney Kingsford Tower, Firefly 994 Super, ready for departure in sequence at runway 16 right, departing straight out. United 292 Heavy, wind 230 at 5, number 4, runway 16 left, cleared to land. Number 4, cleared to land, runway 16 left, United 292 Heavy. Air France 683, when able turn right and contact ground. Please expedite, traffic on final. Wilco, Q-Link 1538.
Land Chile 739 Heavy, request frequency change. Jetstar 1225, request permission to cross runway 16 right.
Firefly 994 Super, hold short of runway 16 right.
Wilco, Air France 683.
Holding short runway 16 right, Firefly 994 Super. Velocity 3 Echo Zulu, request frequency change.
Sydney Kingsford Tower, Swiss 101 Lima X-ray, inbound on the ILS runway 16 left.
Sydney Kingsford Tower, Jetstar 810, ready for departure at runway 16 right, departing north.
Jetstar 810, hold short of runway 16 right. Airline 827, hold short of runway 16 right.
Holding short runway 16 right, Jetstar 810.
Holding short runway 16 right, Airline 827.
Jetstar 1225, request permission to cross runway 25.
United 1533, wind 230 at 5. Number 3, runway 16 left, cleared to land. Number 3, cleared to land, runway 16 left, United 1533. Swiss 101 Lima X-ray, when able turn right and contact ground. Please expedite, traffic on final. Jetstar 1225, contact Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5.
Will code, Swiss 101 Lima X-ray. Contacting Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5, Jetstar 1225.
Jetstar 810, when able turn left, contact ground on the taxiway. Jetstar 810, you were not cleared to enter the runway. Please exit the runway. Jetstar 810, wind 230 at 5, runway 16 right, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 16 right, Jetstar 810.
Hawaiian 785, request frequency change.
Sydney Kingsford Tower, Oceania 8707 heavy, inbound on the ILS runway 16 left.
Oceania 8707 heavy, wind 230 at 5, number 1, runway 16 left, cleared to land.
Number 1, cleared to land, runway 16 left, Oceania 8707 heavy.
Air France 274, wind 210 at 5, runway 16 right, cleared for takeoff. Air France 274, please expedite. United 292 heavy, when able turn right and contact ground. Please expedite, traffic on final. Wilco, United 292 heavy.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford Tower on 124.7, Delta 126 Oscar Oscar.
Hawaiian 785, frequency change approved, good day. Frequency change approved Hawaiian 785, good day. Qantas 08, contact Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5, Qantas 08. Sydney Kingsford Tower, Qantas 1890 heavy, inbound on the ILS runway 16 left with information India. Thank you, Air France 274.
Airline 827, wind 230 at 5, runway 16 right, cleared for takeoff. Cleared for takeoff, runway 16 right, Airline 827. Qantas 1890 heavy, wind 230 at 5, number 3, runway 16 left, cleared to land.
Qantas 350, request permission to cross runway 16 right.
Number 3, cleared to land.
Sydney Kingsford Tower, Firefly 994 Super, ready for departure at runway 16 right, departing straight out. Sydney Kingsford Tower, Firefly 994 Super, ready for departure at runway 16 right, departing straight out. Qantas 922 Heavy, wind 230 at 5, number 3, runway 16 left, cleared to land. Qantas 64 November Juliet Super, frequency change approved, good day.
Number 3, cleared to land, runway 16 left, Qantas 922 Heavy.
Air France 274, request frequency change. Wilco, Oceania 8707 heavy.
Frequency change. Firefly 994 Super, wind 230 at 5, runway 1, cleared for takeoff, runway 16 right, Firefly 994 Super. Air China 471 Heavy, frequency change approved, good day.
Jetstar 810, request frequency change.
Jetstar 810, frequency change approved. Good day.
Frequency change approved Air China 471 Heavy, good day. Frequency change approved Jetstar 810, good day.
Sydney Kingsford Tower, General 70, inbound on the ILS runway 16 left.
Oceania 8707 Heavy, request frequency change.
Airline 827, request frequency change. United 1533, when able turn right and contact ground. Please expedite. Traffic on final.
Qantas 350, request permission to cross runway 7.
Qantas 350, contact Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5.
Swiss 101 Lima X-ray, request permission to cross runway 16 right.
Wilco, United 1533.
Contacting Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5, Qantas 350.
Frequency change approved Airline 827, good day. Oceania 8707 Heavy, contact Sydney Kingsford ground on 126.5.
Sydney Kingsford Tower, Victor Hotel Hotel Echo Yankee, inbound on the ILS runway 16 left with information India.
Stand by, Swiss 101 Lima X-ray.
General 70, wind 230 at 5, number 4, runway 16 left, cleared to land.
Sydney Kingsford Tower, Juliet 3 Golf Golf Charlie Heavy, ready for departure at runway 16 right, departing straight out. Number 5, cleared to land, runway 16 left, Victor Hotel Hotel Echo Yankee. Cleared for takeoff, runway 16 right, Juliet 3 Golf Golf Charlie Heavy.
Swiss 101 Lima X-ray, cross runway 16 right, please expedite. United 292 Heavy, cross runway 16 right, please expedite.
Crossing runway 16 right, Swiss 101 Lima X-ray.
Sydney Kingsford Tower, Cathay 606, ready for departure at runway 16 right, remaining in the pattern.
Crossing runway 16 right, United 292 Heavy.
Stand by, Hainan 6001 Heavy.
Hainan 6001 Heavy, wind 230 at 5, runway 16 right, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 16 right, Hainan 6001 Heavy.
Cathay 606, hold short of runway 16 right.
Sydney Kingsford Tower, Las Vegas, ready for departure at runway 16 right, departing north. Holding short runway 16 right, Cathay 606. Sydney Kingsford Tower.
Qantas 189, Sydney approach, Firefly 994 Super, review at 3,900. Review speed to 180 knots, Qantas 8. Qantas 7396, maintain 180 knots until 6 mile final. New Zealand 1967 Heavy, reduce speed to 180 knots. Oscar Kilo Whiskey Romeo Lima Delta Juliet, turn left heading 290. Firefly 994 Super, frequency change approved, good day. Velocity 311, expect vector. Firefly 994 Super, requesting climb to flight level 350. November 2 Sierra Hotel, expect vectors for the Isles approach runway 16 left at Sydney Kingsford. Sierra Juliet 80, turn right heading 130, descend and maintain 4000, maintain 4000 until established on the localizer, cleared Isles runway 16 right approach. Qantas 8, turn right heading 070.
Roger, November 2 Sierra Hotel.
Air India 608 India November Heavy, turn left heading 030, descend and maintain 6000. Turn right heading 070, Qantas 8. Turn right heading 290, descend and maintain 6000, velocity 311. New Zealand 1967 Heavy, turn left heading 180, maintain 3000 until established on the localizer. Cleared Isles runway 16 left approach. Turn left heading 030, descend and maintain 6000, Air India 608 India November Heavy. Zulu Kilo Echo Victor Echo Heavy, reduce speed to 200 knots.
Turn right heading 160, descend and maintain 3000, Cathay 252 Victor Alpha.
Sierra Juliet 80, maintain 180 knots until 6 mile final. Tomjet 396, maintain 180 knots until 6 mile final. Reduce speed to 180. Firefly 994 Super, frequency change approved, good day. Frequency change approved Firefly 994 Super. Good day. Victor Hotel Hotel Papa Yankee. Turn left heading 150. Descend and maintain 6000. Sydney approach. Delta India Hotel Charlie Alpha. Review at 19,100. Air India 325 India November Heavy. Reduce speed to 200 knots.
Reduce speed to 200 knots. Air India 325 India November Heavy.
Air India 608 India November Heavy. Reduce speed to 200 knots.
Turn left heading 100. Descend and maintain 5,000. Qantas 811.
Delta India Hotel Charlie Alpha is 23 nautical miles west of Mittagong at 18,800 feet. Requesting Earls approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford. Reduce speed to 200 knots. Air India 608 India November Heavy.
Q-Link 810 is 20 nautical miles southwest of Cessnock at 13,400 feet. Requesting ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford.
Oscar Kilo Whiskey Romeo Lima Delta Juliet. Turn left heading 180. Maintain 3000. Maintain 3000 until established on the localizer. Cleared Earls runway 16 left approach. Cathay 252 Victor Alpha. Turn right heading 250. November 2 Sierra Hotel. Reduce speed to 200 knots. Turn left heading 180. Maintain 3000. Maintain 3000 at Q-Link 810. Turn left heading 150. Descend and maintain 7000.
Turn right heading 250. Cathay 252 Victor Alpha.
Zulu Kilo Echo Victor Echo Heavy. Turn right heading 160. Qantas 703. Turn right heading 160.
Turn left heading 150. Descend and maintain 7,000. Q-Link 810.
Delta India Hotel Charlie Alpha. Continue as filed. Expect the Earls approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford. Sydney direct arrest. Delta India Hotel Charlie Alpha. Review at 16,600. Delta India Hotel Charlie Alpha is 14 nautical miles northwest of Mittagong at 16,400 feet. Requesting Earls approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford.
Delta India Hotel Charlie Alpha. Continue as filed. Expect the ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford. Q-Link 810 is 17 nautical miles northwest of Mangrove MT at 11,900 feet. Requesting ILS approach runway 16 right at Sydney Kingsford.
Velocity 311 is 27 nautical miles east of Sydney Kingsford at 6,700 feet. Requesting Earls approach any runway at Sydney Kingsford.
Sydney Director West. Air India 325 India November Heavy. With you at 7,000. Qantas 41 Romeo. Turn left heading 070 and hold over Warnervale Airport at 9,000. Right turns. Do not exceed 230 knots. Turn left heading 070 and hold over Warnervale Airport at 9,000. Right turns. Wilco. Qantas 41 Romeo.
Victor Hotel Hotel Papa Yankee is 5 nautical miles west of Mangrove MT at 6,000 feet. Requesting Isles approach runway 16 left at Sydney Kingsford.
Victor Hotel Hotel Papa Yankee. Expect vectors for the ILS approach runway 16 left at Sydney Kingsford. Velocity 311. Turn left heading 240. Maintain 6,000.
Roger, Victor Hotel Hotel Papa Yankee.
Zulu Kilo Echo Victor Echo Heavy. Expect vectors for the ILS approach runway 16 left at Sydney Kingsford. Air India 608 India November Heavy. Turn right heading 080. Maintain 6,000. Air India 325 India November Heavy. Turn right heading 090. Maintain 7,000. Cathay 252 Victor Alpha. Radar contact. Say approach request. November 2 Sierra Hotel. Turn right heading 330. Descend and maintain 4,000. Qantas 330. Turn left heading 240. Maintain 4,000.
Sydney Director West, Jetstar 827, with you at 19,500.
Cathay 252 Victor Alpha. Expect vectors for the ILS approach runway 16 left at Sydney Kingsford. Qantas 703. Expect vectors for the ILS approach runway 16 left at Sydney Kingsford.
Melbourne Centre, Firefly 994 Super, with you at 35,000. Jet Airways 30 Victor Tango, contact Brisbane Centre on 127.0. Firefly 994 Super, radar contact. Firefly 994 Super, contact Brisbane Centre on 127.0. Contacting Brisbane Centre on 127.0, Firefly 994 Super. Qantas 420 Victor Golf, you're in an active airspace. Please contact Brisbane Centre on 127.0. Brisbane Centre, Firefly 994 Super, with you at 35,000.
Brisbane Centre, Qantas 420 Victor Golf, with you at 15,000.
Hainan 6001 Heavy, radar contact. Jet Airways 30 Victor Tango, requested airport is outside of coverage area. Proceed on course.
Brisbane Centre, Qatari 279 Victor Alpha Heavy, with you at 2,500.
Brisbane Centre, Avianca 088, with you at 22,700. Roger, Jet Airways 30 Victor Tango. Airbus 359 Heavy, you're in an active airspace. Please contact Brisbane Centre on 127.0. Jet Airways 30 Victor Tango, turn left heading 140, descend and maintain 10,000. Qantas 420 Victor Golf, radar contact. Turn left, Firefly 994 Super, radar contact. Airbus 359 Heavy, radar contact. Airbus 359 Heavy, turn left head. Firefly 994 Super, requesting Earls approach runway 23 left at Auckland International. Air China 173, you're in an active airspace. Please contact Brisbane Centre on 127.0. November 307 Golf Alpha, you're in an active airspace. Please contact Brisbane Centre on 127.0. Avianca 088, requested airport is outside of coverage area. Proceed on course.
Turn left heading 140, descend and maintain 12,000, Airbus 359 Heavy.
United 1219, you're in an active airspace. Please contact Brisbane Centre on 127.0. Roger, Avianca 088.
Brisbane Centre, Air China 173, with you at 14,400.
Qatari 279 Victor Alpha Heavy, radar contact. Air China 173, radar contact. Firefly 994 Super, requested airport is outside of coverage area. Roger, Firefly 994 Super. New Zealand 101 Heavy, you're in an active airspace. Please contact Brisbane Centre on 127.0. Delta 41 Heavy, you're in an active airspace. Please contact Brisbane Centre on 127.0.
Qantas 2308 is 3 nautical miles south of Sydney Kingsford at 2,900 feet, requesting flight following to Melbourne International.
United 12 Uniform Alpha Heavy, you're in an active airspace. Please contact Brisbane Centre on 127.0.
Brisbane Centre, Delta 43 Heavy, with you at 18,400.
Qantas 2308, proceed on course to Melbourne International.
Proceed on course, Qantas 2308. I'm sorry, Delta 43 Heavy. Air Canada 33 Heavy is 9 nautical miles south of Williston at 33,700 feet, requesting ILS approach runway 16 left at Sydney Kingsford. Brisbane Centre, Qantas 4805 Heavy, with you at 1,100.
Qantas 4805 Heavy, radar contact. Avianca 088, continue as filed. November 307 Golf Alpha, you're in an active airspace. Please contact Brisbane Centre on 127.0. Continue as filed, Avianca 088. Delta 43 Heavy, descend and maintain 12,000.
Descend and maintain 12,000, Delta 43 Heavy.
Qantas 420 Victor Golf. Contact Sydney Director West on 126.1. Airbus 359 Heavy, descend and maintain 10,000.
Contacting Sydney Director West on 126.1, Qantas 420 Victor Golf.
Air China 173, do not exceed 260 knots.
Auckland Airport, Addis Information Alpha, time 1907 Zulu, wind 260 at 15, visibility 21, temperature 18, dew point 13, QNH 1003 landing runway 23 left, departing runway 23 left advise on initial contact, you have Information Alpha. Auckland Airport, Addis Information Alpha, time 1907 Zulu, wind 260 at 15, visibility 21, temperature 18, dew point 13, QNH 1003 landing runway 23 left, departing runway 23 left advise on initial contact, you have Information Alpha.
Auckland Tower, Firefly 994 Super, inbound on the ILS runway 23 left with Information Alpha.
Firefly 994 Super, enter right downwind runway 23 left.
Enter right downwind runway 23 left, Firefly 994 Super.
Firefly 994 Super, wind 220 at 17, number 1, runway 23 left, cleared to land.
Number 1, cleared to land, runway 23 left, Firefly 994 Super.
Super. You are in an active airspace. Please contact Ocaland Tower on 118.7.
Auckland Tower, New Zealand 638 Super is 15 nautical miles to the southeast at 5,900 feet. Inbound for landing. Requesting runway 23 left.
New Zealand 638 Super. Enter left base runway 23 left. Number 2. Traffic to follow is on final.
Enter left base. Runway 23 left. Behind the traffic on final. New Zealand 638 Super.
Auckland Tower, China Eastern 8276. Ready for departure at runway 23 left. Remaining in the pattern.
China Eastern 8276. Wind 220 at 17. Runway 23 left. Cleared for takeoff. Make right traffic.
Cleared for takeoff. Runway 23 left. China Eastern 8276. Firefly 994 Super is on final runway 23 left.
Firefly 994 Super. You are already cleared to land. Avoid unnecessary reports. New Zealand 638 Super. Wind 220 at 17. Number 2. Runway 23 left. Cleared to land.
Number 2, cleared to land. Runway 23 left. New Zealand 638 Super.
China Eastern 8276. Number 2. Traffic to follow is on left base.
Number 2, behind the traffic on left base. China Eastern 8276.
China Eastern 8276. Correction. Stand by. China Eastern 8276. Number 3. Traffic to follow is on left base.
Number 3, behind the traffic on left base. China Eastern 8276.
China Eastern 8276, wind 220 at 17. Number 3, runway 23 left, cleared for the option.
400.
Number 3, cleared for the option, runway 23 left, China Eastern 8276.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
5 fly 994 super. Exit runway when able. Contact ground on the taxiway.
Wilco, Firefly 994 Super. Oakland ground, Firefly 994 Super, request taxi to parking.
Firefly 994 super. Taxi to parking, at your discretion.
Oakland ground, American, taxi to parking, Firefly 994 Super.
American 4581, taxi to runway 23 left. Contact tower when ready.
Taxi to runway 23 left, American 4581.
Firefly 994 super. Give way to aircraft on your left. Firefly 994 super. Disregard last message. American 4581, give way to aircraft on your left.
Give way to, thank you, Firefly 994 Super.
Auckland Ground, New Zealand 638 Super. Request taxi to gate 31 at the domestic terminal.
New Zealand 638 Super. Taxi to domestic terminal gate 31 via Alpha.
Taxiing to domestic terminal gate 31 via Alpha, New Zealand 638 Super.
Auckland Ground, China Eastern 8276. Request taxi to gate 31 at the domestic terminal.
China Eastern 8276. Taxi to parking, at your discretion. China Eastern 8276. Please check the user guide from the home screen for help using ATC instructions.
Auckland Ground, China Eastern 8276. Request taxi to parking.
China Eastern 8276. Avoid sending duplicate messages.
Thank you. Good day. Firefly 994 Super.